May you find happiness and peace, and may your home stand the test of time.
Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Mary. Today I'll be reacting to Charlie destroy race baiting students with facts. Anyway, without further ado, let's get started.
Hi y'all. So before I ask my question, I want to clarify a point that y'all mentioned earlier. You said you don't believe in white privilege, correct?
Yeah, it's a myth. It doesn't exist.
Okay.
Okay. So according to the Bureau of Prison Statistics from last month, 38.3% of our current inmate population is black. But according to the 2020 census data, only 12.2% of our national population is black. So if you don't believe in white privilege, how do you explain this disparity?
So why are they in jail?
It has been this way for years, since the 90s.
You know,
since
why do people go to jail?
Why are black people in jail at higher rates than white people?
That's the question, right? Maybe because they
Yes.
commit more crimes than white people.
But that's not true. It actually is.
They do. So every independent analysis shows that blacks have committed a disproportionate amount of crime. No one wants to say it out loud, but it's true. In fact, in New York, 52% of murders are committed by blacks, 40+% of arson, 60+% of drug deals. And so the question you should really be asking is what drives them to commit crimes? That's the question, right? The real question is, and maybe I can ask you, what percentage of blacks are raised with two parents in the home?
So actually, according to the Uniform Crime Report for 2019, black or African American individuals committed only about 1 million crimes, while white people committed about 4 million
Yeah,
crimes.
so,
But that's
hold on.
proportion.
Yeah, how about the proportion?
There's a lot more white people than black people in the United States.
It's a 60% white country and a 14% black country. So you just proved my point. You literally, so basically that's a disproportionate amount of crime. It is.
But listen, I want to say, look, you are coming up here and you're asking a question, and that's not easy to do, first and foremost, no matter what. And I really appreciate your question in front of all these people. It's hard. So thank you for asking your question. But let me point out what you just did, and you didn't know that you did it. You switched from proportion to raw numbers.
Okay.
And you did that to make a point that you thought you were making, but you weren't. But look, your issue was that black Americans only make up 13% of the population, and yet they make up, I think you said, like 38% of the prison population. And then you switched to raw numbers because, so black people only make up 13% of the population, but they commit 40% of all homicides and 60% of all violent crime. Unfortunately, I don't think that's anything inherent in black Americans. That's not what I'm saying. That's just the fact. And what Charlie is saying is, look, we've got to look at why that is. So you're claiming that that disparity is inherent proof of discrimination. So would you also say the fact that there are fewer Asians in jail means that than white people, that there is discrimination against white people? No? Disparity isn't proof of discrimination is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. So let me just throw, and Allie's exactly right. What percentage of blacks grow up with two parents in the home?
I don't know.
Yeah, less than 20%.
Wow.
That's why there's so many blacks committing crimes and they're in jail. It's that simple. The death of the black family is why blacks are in jail higher than their population percentage. It's that simple.
May I see your criminology degree? Do you have one?
I'm sorry.
No,
Wait.
we've gotta. Are you a
We gotta argue
biologist?
from an
Ketanji
expert
Brown
thing.
Jackson.
Let me ask you a question. So do I need a criminology degree to be able to understand that 75% of blacks don't grow up with two parents?
To be well versed in it, I believe so.
Do you have one?
I don't, but I'm studying it.
Okay,
right
but
now.
you
she studied it.
exactly. But you did the same thing. You looked at a statistic, and he did the same thing. You
Look,
don't have a criminology
Have you
degree,
even taken
neither
a
does
criminology
he.
course? Have y'all
Hold on
taken
a second. You're doing an argument from authority, okay?
It's a fallacy.
So the laws of physics don't change whether or not you're a physicist, okay? The law of thermodynamics doesn't change whether or not you take a course on it.
That's true.
Answer the question. Why do blacks have a broken family versus a nuclear family, and does that translate to higher rates of crime? Do you admit that?
Why is it that blacks don't have parents then? Why?
Good question. We subsidize single motherhood in this country through the federal government of the United States. Great question. Now we're getting somewhere. Back in the 1960s, we put forward a program where black women married the government and broke up with the men they were with.
Okay.
Welfare state, Lyndon Baines Johnson, and that has contributed to blacks committing more crimes.
I believe institutionalized racism is your answer, but I don't believe I'm getting anywhere
but
with y'all.
look-
But
so-
no, just let me point something out. Did you know that it's not white Americans that have the lowest incarceration rate or the lowest rates of crime or the highest graduation rates or the highest median income? It's not white Americans. It's Asian Americans. They have the highest median income. They have the highest graduation rates. They have the most degrees. They have the lowest incarceration rates. And guess what? They also have the lowest single parenthood rates. Okay? So that is true across the board. It's not just black Americans. And unless you are willing to say that the reason why Asian Americans make more than white Americans or the reason why Asian Americans go to jail less than white Americans is because there is systemic institutional racism against white people in this country, then your argument against black people doesn't really work.
So let me ask you one thing. You said institutional racism. I got a black friend right up here. He's great. He's great. So let me ask you. Let me ask you a question. What can I do that he can't do?
What do you mean?
If institutional racism was real, what can I do that he can't do?
Well, you're less likely to get arrested.
I'm sorry. No,
That's
if we
less-
both commit a crime, he's going to get arrested and I'm not?
He could.
Wait, so we just went through this.
I'm sick.
Blacks commit a disproportionate amount
Wow.
of crime in this country because of broken families. So give me one law on the books.
not because
You
of
said it's
broken
institutional. Give me a law anywhere that discriminates against blacks. Give me one law anywhere in America.
You want current or past?
How about right now?
Well, the fact that crack cocaine is criminalized more than regular cocaine.
No, no,
has
if
a
I
disproportionate
deal-
racism
It's a law against blacks.
If I deal crack cocaine, I'm getting arrested regardless of skin color. Give me
But if you
a
were
law
dealing white cocaine, you're
Give
less
me a
likely
law
to get a harsher
anywhere
sentence.
that allows white people to commit crimes and get away with it and blacks can't. Does that law exist?
Not anymore. But that
Because
doesn't
there's
mean
no
it's not real.
institutional racism in America.
Because there's-
The idea of institutional racism is laws on the books.
Just because it's not down on paper doesn't mean it's not real.
Okay, give us
Wow.
an example. Not just
God.
a disparity. Not just a
God?
disparity.
God isn't. You don't see God.
He's on paper. Read the Bible.
I didn't mean it like that. I'm getting nowhere with y'all, and y'all are not answering my questions, so I'm going to end this Q&A right here. Thank you for your time.
We actually did answer her questions, but I do appreciate, even though she's got an attitude, I do appreciate her courage. I do. That is difficult. That's difficult
Yeah,
to
I
come
mean,
up
it's
here and ask
difficult,
a
but
question,
see,
but you can also do it respectfully.
But what bothered me about her, I'm glad she was there. She wasn't being honest. At least be honest, okay? And be willing to be corrected. Well, that was a fun fireworks show to end our time together, right?
Well, guys, this is beautiful. I've seen a whole lot of movies concerning white blacks and a whole lot of things on social media, but sometimes according to the question Charlie asked, he said, is there any law that is favoring white that is not favoring black? Where I might be in Africa, so I don't really know if there's any law like that, but based on what I've seen, if you commit an offense, I think the same offense that is punishable to white as the same thing punishable to black. Sometimes the only part I've seen that I'm not really comfortable with is when it comes to the police officers. You see, sometimes when they stop a black man, based on, let me say, past experience, things that they've heard or something, they are very, very cautious. They are very, very, attentive. They are very, very conscious. Like, they feel like something might go wrong. So now the way they talk to you, they do their thing is different. Because if a white man is sitting in the same seat or in the same position, I feel the police officer feels more relaxed, trying to, talk to the white guy, pick his driver license and so many other things. When it's a black guy, especially how he's dressed or his kind of hairstyle, his kind of outfit, his kind of this. Now they start picturing things, They want to make sure that, yes, everything is done accordingly. So if they ask you, a black guy, to put your hand on the steering wheel, I would advise you do it. Because, it's normal. If I leave my place, now there are places in my country that we don't visit at a particular time, simply because those places are not safe. So when I get to that place, I would want to, I don't want to let my guards down because I don't know what will happen. Now I have to be 100% cautious of my environment, 100%, I have to look over my shoulder to make sure that yes, everything is going on well. So in that scenario, I feel yes, a white guy might have more privilege than a black guy. But even if it's not in the book, or even if based on what they've been taught is that they should treat everyone equally, but in that scenario, I feel like it's normal. Like kind of if I'm the one in the position, I would want to be extremely careful. But this is lovely, and I love the fact that racism is dropping every day. That's the truth. I remember a friend of mine came back from Turkey. She was like the rate at which they don't like black there is very very like it's so much, and I'm like, yes, even in Africa, some African country, when you introduce yourself as a certain as let's say Nigerian, they see you in a certain way. So that's it. Even if it's not being a white man, that stigma is in Africa. We also have that stigma, especially in some, even in a particular country. If you introduce yourself that you're from this tribe, sometimes they see you in a certain way. Especially, I'm currently staying in Ghana. There's this tribe that I don't want to do business with them because of past experience. So whenever I see someone that is from that tribe, I'm like looking the person with this kind of suspective eyes, even if he's not going to steal from me, but even if I don't know that particular person attitude, but based on past experience, I feel like I want to protect myself. I just don't want that what's it called, incident to repeat itself. But anyway, I know it's bad for my side. Like kind of I need to give everyone an opportunity instead of me to just use the stigma I have with one person to rub on every other person. But I'm still working on that. But for this, I feel they did an excellent job. They try to let the lady see reason why everyone is being treated equally. And according to the lady, I don't know the lady sitting down with Charlie. She said when it comes to Asia, they take more money than them. They have other benefits, and their rate of divorce is very very low. But still, white people don't say that they have more privilege than them because there's a reason why they're taking more pay. Maybe they might be more experienced in the job or something. But when he made mention of, I mean Charlie, when he made mention of divorce rate, high divorce rate, I felt like not really high divorce rate. When he made mention of single parenting, I felt like the single parenting is everywhere because I see more of whites divorcing now than black. I know most black don't grow up with their parents, maybe because their father is not around, maybe because he's in prison or he has committed, or he's into one thing or another. But majority of black don't want to divorce, especially in my part of the country. When we get married, we just want to make it work, especially in my household. That is why they don't impose on you. They don't try to make you get married to who they want. They try to let you pick who you want. So the only question they will ask you is forever is a long time. So if you really want this person, like, are you sure this is the person? Because it's like, we don't support divorce. So if it's not working and you divorce, and based on the Bible, it said if you divorce, you're not allowed to remarry. So you have to make sure the choice you're making is the right choice. So I feel like black don't really divorce, but I know things are changing because things are like changing, like because even now in my country, divorce now is becoming like a norm. When like dating is actually more longer than marriage, because you see some people date for like 3 years, 4 years, and when they marry, they end up divorcing in less than 6 months. I just feel like that the idea of people coming together, staying in the same place, seeing themselves every day, sometimes people get tired of it. Now they want that space. They want to just be alone. They want to have their space. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comment section. If this is your first time visiting my channel, click on the subscribe button. Thanks for watching and remember this.